Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
News came out yesterday, right before the debate, actually. Right before the presidential debate, which is what everybody, I think, was focusing on. All the news networks were focusing on.
So you think this was a strategic announcement?
This was a strategic.
You think so?
I just think, well, you know what? We got to make the announcement. When should we make it? How about when the entire country is looking the other way?
But, okay, so we were talking about Dave Grohl here, and something pretty crazy happened to him yesterday.
He cheated on his wife.
I read this shortly after.
He got caught because he got a girl pregnant.
I read this shortly after our show yesterday. So it wasn't like right before the election, but it was on day.
Oh, okay.
It was.
See, I got it on a news notification, probably around. I think I could probably go back and look. It was definitely after 3, before 5.
Yeah,
it was somewhere in that window.
Okay. Good to know.
Anyways, you don't have to wait for me to look for that. But anyways,
this is what Dave Grohl said yesterday on Instagram. Okay. He said, "I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together." Good thing our hopes didn't come true for Foo Fighters to play the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm surprised we don't hear more stuff about this, especially in today's day and age with rock stars or any kind of celebrity, because we all know that especially, artists, people flock to them. They have the ability to probably, as they did in the 80s. Was it just the 80s? Come on. Where, there's been books written about it, movies showcased on it, how many women that men can sleep with. And he's Dave Grohl. He's one of the biggest rock stars of the current day.
Yeah.
I'm surprised when I first read this. I thought maybe this was like it was an Arnold Schwarzenegger type situation. Like he'd been keeping it in secret for a long time. Like maybe he got with this girl, 15, 20 years, at least 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when I first read it. I was like, oh, he's got like.
And then I really kind of looked at it this morning. I'm like,
no,
wait a second.
This is a baby. This
just happened. Just happened. So obviously she gets pregnant. I'm guessing the baby is born now, but I don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah, born.
And he decides, okay, I got to make a decision.
Born outside of my marriage.
I got to tell my wife and my kids. And so he does that. And he's got, I think, 3 daughters.
Yeah.
And I was reading one of the daughters took down her Instagram account.
It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell to the wife and the daughters. Listen, guys, and the daughters are a little bit older. Like I think one of them was born in like 2003 or something like that. And
18, 15, and 10.
Okay, and she actually has gone on stage with Dave and sung with him in the past.
Violet.
So it's a tough situation for everybody involved. The weird thing about it is he has been very vocal about talking about family and family values for as it pertained to him, and how it changed his life for the better, and it made him a more responsible person. But then this happens, it's like oh man, and who knows? People have their personal lives, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. There it is. You said it.
It's just, but I mean, he's gone on over the years to say he's a family man. And this kind of, just shows that, I guess nobody is perfect, because if there was anybody that was perfect, Dave Grohl kind of painted himself in that light.
Listen, I'm not
rock star.
Yeah, I'm not condoning what he did. And it's going to sound like that when I say this next statement, but we just can't get away with anything anymore. We were talking about it earlier and yesterday with cameras. You just can't get away with anything anymore with social media, with this ability to connect and communicate at a push of a button. Nobody can get away with anything anymore. The stuff you used to be able to get away with back in the day, you can't do it anymore.
So what's interesting about this is in 1997, he was married to his first wife. He admitted to her that he cheated, and that led to divorce. So I've always heard this term, usually used.
Once a cheater, always a cheater?
Yeah, usually used amongst women. And that is once a cheater, always a cheater. It kind of rings true in this instance. I mean, it took a while. Or did it not take a while and he just got caught? You know, it's very, very interesting.
Hi, you're on the air with Jeff and Jeremy. What do you think?
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Doing good.
I just wanted to let you guys know I got another confession to make.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets.
You talk about extreme.
And everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. Does that sound familiar?
Well, I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted.
Oh, he's a criminal. And I built it into many, many billions of dollars. Many, many billions. Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars.
So Donald Trump has no plan for you.
She doesn't have a plan. And it's like 4 sentences.
Let's compare the plans. I have a plan.
I don't care. I couldn't care less. All I can say is I read where she was, that she put out.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
A little fun with last night's debate.
I don't think you saw this, but yesterday somebody unearthed a video from like 1995, and she was at a Willie Brown campaign party, and the reporter comes up to her, and because it's 1995, nobody knows who she is, right? Reporter comes up to her, and she's standing there with Willie Brown. She goes, "Excuse me, ma'am, are you Willie Brown's daughter?"
Oh, wait, no, this has been played before. I do remember this.
And she was like, no.
Yes. This came up in the election in 20 when she was running with Biden. That's really funny. Jeff and Jeremy here. It is KZOZ. So I got to tell you, and I was just talking to Jeff about this, that I actually didn't get a chance. I recorded the debate. I watched a little bit of the end. I watched the recaps and stuff. But at last minute, a friend of ours said, "Hey, would you like to come have dinner with us?" So we ended up going down to a bar and having dinner at this bar that has great food. But we're sitting there at these tables, and there's TVs all around us. The debate's on.
That was very Donald Trumpian. Do you own stake in this bar? Like when you say, the bar I go to, it's got really good food.
It really does. It's really got good food. I had a great Philly dip. Have you ever had a Philly
really
cheesesteak sandwich?
Hey, that was good. It was in the spirit of the debate because they were doing it in Philadelphia, right? That's
right.
That's
I
why
had
you got
to.
the Philly dip, yeah.
But it was a Philly sandwich, and then I got some, and it came with au jus if you wanted to, and it was really good. But anyways, so we're sitting there, but I'm watching, and we're talking, and the sound isn't on, but we're watching them, and I'm just watching their faces. And I got to tell you, it was really interesting. Donald looked, he had the Donald scowl, and she had the, are you kidding me, surprise look, like every time. It almost was like, did she rehearse that in the mirror? Of looking like he's a liar. Like, I'm going to practice for an hour today, every day for the next 2 weeks, of what I would look like if I thought somebody was lying.
3 quick takeaways. 3 quick takeaways. I watched about 75% of it, and then I picked up on what was going on there. One, it was both the moderators and Kamala Harris's number one goal was to get him rattled. It worked to some,
I heard that happen.
It worked to some extent.
I heard he took the bait. Is the term I kept
He didn't
hearing.
get super rattled. Like everybody's saying, "Oh well, he took the bait." And that's and is that what you really want to? You want to vote for somebody based on the fact that they got their opponent to take the bait because they had the home field advantage. I don't know if that is, I mean, in sports, that's what you root for, but in leadership, I don't know if that's a thing you want to root for. Number 2 takeaway was, man, she was quick to answer the questions. I mean, like, it was like, they weren't supposed to know anything ahead of time going into it, and they'd ask a question of her, and she would have a response at the ready. Now, either she's way wittier than we've given her credit for, or she had some insight. And I'm not
Well,
saying...
she just did an interview. I think it was an ABC, or no, it was CNN interview, and she didn't come across that way at all.
Right.
I was reading an article this morning that talked about that she was really on point. You could tell she had really prepared. And that the David Muir and the Leslie, whatever the other woman was from ABC, really were throwing softballs. And
well,
that
to
was
her,
kind of the...
To her.
Yes. Yeah, to her. And it really didn't like... She hold her to talking about her policies or why she would change what she has been doing for the last 3.5 years. So that was kind of the one article that I read. And it was from Fox. I'll be honest. It was from Fox. They were like, they really thought the loser in the debate last night was the network. The network really failed. It was ABC was really inefficient at conducting the debate. Unlike CNN, which did a really good job in the first debate.
And
so I guess the
number 3 is I think she really practiced her facial expressions, because they went back and they looked at the Biden debate and they said, "Oh man, Biden looks like crap. What you need to do is you just need to shoot these looks at Donald Trump while he's talking." And it was funny because it was constant. And the looks that she was shooting at him were ones of like, this guy's a lunatic. And that's the picture that she tried to paint through her responses. And it may have worked. Listen, you know my faith in the voting public. You know my faith in the voting public.
Well, okay, well, we're still 50 days out, and there is supposed to be another debate. Apparently, she wants another debate. Her team has already put out there that she wants to do another debate.
Really?
Fox has invited him. I don't think there's any way that she'll do it with Fox. But I'm laughing because Jim just wrote in on the 805 Beer text lines. He sent in a picture, and I did see this morning, and I forgot about it, that apparently the earrings she was wearing, somebody found an old ad, very similar-looking earrings, that is an audio device. And so they think, so in the next debate, she can't wear any earrings. Otherwise, she's going to be accused of somebody feeding her the answers. Sorry, Kamala. I'm sorry. It's very confusing how to say your name. I'm working on it. But you can't wear earrings at the next.
It was not, listen, it didn't give hope from either perspective, because she talked in platitudes and cliches like she always does. And he was rattled. He was rattled a little bit, and he was all over the place. But the thing is,
well, remember, he was bragging about not preparing. I don't need to prepare for her, blah, blah, blah.
When you're backed into a corner by 3 people.
For 2 weeks.
And I know. And they were fact-checking him right in the middle of the thing. They're like, well, that's not true. Well, that's not true. Well, that's not true. Kind of tearing away at his credibility. But she lied about a lot of things. Like, she brought up the fine people hoax in Charlottesville, on both sides. And they keep repeating these lies. And this is a game that is to be played. This isn't about truth. Okay, this is a game that is to be played by politicians. And if they lie enough and get enough people to buy into the lie, then they get the vote. It doesn't matter if what they're saying is true. And that's what happened last night with Kamala Harris, but nobody called her on it like they called him on it. So she lied more than Donald Trump did, but it was never brought up.
So do you want to see another debate?
No.
On a different network?
No, I don't care to see another debate.
Hey. Yeah. Some feedback coming in on last night's presidential debate in Philadelphia. Willie says, Donald had bad makeup. Kamala had bad teeth. I think she needs to see the dentist. That's from Will.
The takeaways from this is just amazing.
Tyler writes in. He says, at least Biden answered the questions, even though they made no sense.
Biden answered?
Rhonda.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, that is another thing that happened. It was like, they'd ask a question, and then she had a response immediately that had nothing to do with the question. Like, okay.
Rhonda writes in. She says, "Oh my God, she lied more?" Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark.
Yes.
Are you insane?
Every single one of her question marks was a lie.
Hi. Thanks for hanging on. Go ahead.
Well, I was listening to you guys about 2 minutes ago on my drive home. You were talking about the debate.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, just to update you guys, first of all, she is a law school graduate. she's much smarter than Trump, who, quote unquote, from one of his professors, said he was the stupidest student he ever had. Okay? That's one thing. All right? Number two, he lied 30 times. She lied once. Okay? So get your facts straight. I know you're white men like me, but get your facts straight.
I wasn't
smarter
sure
than him, and her smiling at him is a natural reaction when somebody's lying every time they open their fucking mouth.
Okay.
Why are you so upset?
Because you're on the radio acting like Trump won. And that she practiced this smile.
Nobody won. Nobody won. And obviously
I don't
you
think
lost.
anybody won.
You lost because you've lost your goddamn mind.
You lost because you're misrepresenting the debate.
No, I'm not.
I think what
You're
you lost
morons in the morning.
No,
I think you lost the real estate in your head occupied by you lost.
You're misrepresenting the hundreds of thousands of people who listen to you. Neither one of you got a degree in political science like I did. Okay?
So that makes you qualified to get upset?
Neither one of you. Did you go to college?
Yes.
Yeah, we both went to college.
In fact, you want to know something? My minor was comparative American culture, which is
really?
Yeah.
Listen, she's been in there for 3 years, and she's saying that she's going to turn around and change everything that she's done for the past 3.5 years. And you're telling me that's not a lie? Why wasn't she doing it from the get-go?
I think it's he dropped off. He just wanted to call up, get mad, freak out, and then hang up the phone.
Very upset. Oh, God. I'm like, how does that guy,
this is how unhinged. This is how unhinged Donald Trump makes people. It's crazy. And I don't understand. I don't get it. It's hard for me to get it because I don't see, like...
Well, have you watched Morning Joe?
Where
This guy probably watches a lot of Morning Joe, and I'm telling you, if you watch that show, they're ready to send out the cavalry to bring him in and hang him up in Times Square.
Why is skin color and a political science degree from some college such an important thing to have in order to have a take in society?
I have no idea. Why is it? What is our? What is
Didn't he
our
say
skin
he
color
was
have to do with
driving
any of
home?
this?
He was driving home, so I was
from his job.
So, like, graveyard, that political science degree got you that graveyard gig. I mean, like,
they got him to push a broom at a graveyard gig.
Well, who knows? I
don't know.
Maybe he's crunching the numbers for poll data or something. I have no idea.
A lot of texts coming in, but we got somebody on the phone here. Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
You boys are just sowing the seeds of divisiveness this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what we do. I don't understand. Like, I came into this poking fun at it because I think the last night was a huge debacle. I thought it was laughable, the whole production, and like Jeremy said, nobody won. Nobody won. American people definitely lost.
People agree with you.
Yeah,
I think most people would agree.
ABC lost, Trump lost, Kamala lost. Yeah. They all lost.
Yeah, it was a big waste of time. And you think about all the money and energy that went into it. It was just so disappointing. So disappointing. Thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
It's a Broadway show, is what we saw last night, and it was there was an antagonist and a protagonist. I mean, it was what every story's made up of.
Hi, you're on the air with Jeff and Jeremy. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Hey, I really wanted to know what he thought the one lie was.
I think it's because I brought up the fine people hoax. I think he had to say he was going to say no lies, but then I brought up the fine people hoax earlier, and he's like, "Oh, okay, she did lie about that." The interesting thing is, I just don't know how Tim Walz got our number.
Seriously.
Because when he called in, I wasn't sure if it was a he or a she.
If I was that guy, and I was so proud of my degree, I would be very insulted that they were trying to give away degrees for free. Because that dude, he's literally holding on to that like it's the only value he has in his life.
I know, and that's the problem with
it's
college
hard.
people and people that are like they. I mean, he sounded older. If you're hanging on to that college thing this far past college, then you have never left in your mind. You're hanging on to that degree in political science that has gotten you so far in life that you still have to reference it in the first 15 seconds of a conversation. Come on.
Well,
man.
it's obviously like the peak
political
accomplishment.
Yeah, I'm a political science major.
All right, let's take it
I'm a
easy. The
political
guy's had a rough
science
morning.
major.
Okay, let's not pile on. All right,
You can give him my contact information.
Okay. We'll do that.
Okay, thanks.
Good, because I don't want to talk to him anymore.
Just because someone went to college doesn't make them smart. Lawn Boy Kevin writing in on the 805 beer text line.
Oh, don't you dare say that. He worked really hard.
Says,
to get that
I know a lot of
degree.
idiots who graduated college.
Yes.
Boy, Kevin.
Some of them are doctors and lawyers, to be honest with you. Most of them are politicians.
Quick break. We got Scotty coming in with sports and Brian Adams keyed up.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Have you ever been at the gas station, mainly 7-Eleven? Because I know you're a 7-Eleven guy, and you you're over there and you're putting the nacho cheese on the Fritos. You get the bag of Fritos, you're dumping it in there. You're dumping it in there.
Well, they don't allow for you to do Fritos with the nacho cheese, so you have to use the actual poor people chips that they use.
No, you can go buy a bag of Fritos, open up the bag, and start dumping cheese in there.
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Just because you've seen people do it doesn't mean it is right. Like, I think they hate that. That's not how it's built on that. It's free if you buy the chips that they provide to you. It's not like what if I liked it on my apples and I went over and I got an apple and I started dumping cheese on it? People would be like weirded out by that.
If you work at 7-Eleven, I don't know why you would care how much nacho cheese somebody was taking. Maybe because you have to get off your tush
Did you
and go
hear
to the
the guy
storeroom
that we just
and
talked
get
to?
Get another bag of cheese and load it into the cheese warmer. Oh, my God. Coming up at Dumbass of the Day. One guy took a little too much nacho cheese, and now he's in the hospital. We'll tell you what happened to him next. It's Dumbass of the Day. It's Jeff and Jeremy. This is KZOZ. All right, Jeff and Jeremy here. It's time for Dumbass of the Day, brought to you by Davis Water Conditioning. Is your tap water giving you more than H2O? Gross. Now it's time to get a whole house system from Davis Water Conditioning. Buy a water softener and reverse osmosis and get a whole house filter valued at $900 for free. Check out all the information you need. Go to daviswaterconditioning.com.
Oh, okay. So since we were accused earlier of not being smart and not going to college, and this might show our cards, Jeremy, but in the spirit of actually answering the questions, I want you to tell me exactly what you know. Because I don't know. H2O. Is it 2 oxygens or 2 hydrogens?
Hydrogen? I don't know. We're idiots that went to college, but we're still idiots. Because we studied comm. We're communication majors. My minor was in business. Yours was in comparative American culture. So you could tell us about how, people were just treated in this country.
Yes.
And I could tell you, actually, not a lot. I
mean, listen, we graduated high school, though. Come on, we should know what the 2 stands for, if it's 2 hydrogens or 2 oxygens.
When do you ever look at that? Who knows?
I just know,
the 2 is small.
H2O is water.
It's hydrogen and oxygen. That's what it is.
Right, but which one is 2?
Hydrogen.
How pathetic can some people be?
I passed science. I don't know.
How many good men had to die, vomit, or hallucinate before we came across the portobello and button mushroom, right? That was an awkward time when mankind had to figure out what was edible and what would leave a family fatherless. I'm glad we are where we are today. Now it's trial and error. I'll just say this. I have a lot of respect for the first guy to dig into a pineapple. Have you seen it? I would have guessed poisonous on the pineapple. That's a ferocious piece of fruit. And yet somewhere, way back when, the gauntlet of time, some guy looked at a pineapple and was like, I don't know what's going to happen to me. But what I do know is that must end up here via this. And he ate it. And he was rewarded with golden deliciousness and the respect of all the village. And the guy that eaten the pine cone the week before was like, oh, so close.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
You nailed it.
I feel like you were setting me up, by the way. You were setting me up for success, and I let you down.
You nailed it. You got it right. Technically, it's 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen.
Well, Daniel wrote in, and he said that it was 2 hydrogens. Daniel, did you go to college?
Nailed it.
47-year-old gas station convenience store clerk in Las Vegas is in a lot of trouble. His name is Myron Bully. He was arrested for allegedly beating a man almost to death with a baseball bat for taking too much nacho cheese out of the dispenser.
Oh, see? That's what I'm talking about. It makes people mad.
You know, there's a lot in today's society, in the world we live in today, that is making people angry. One is they don't have a lot of money. Number 2, they have to work at 7-Eleven. Number 3, this guy's just taking more than his share, according to Bully. That's his name, by the way, Bully.
Yeah, girl.
The person who
streets.
The bully was beating him, and a guy pumping his gas saw this going on. He ran inside. He said, "Hey, man, stop, and called 911. Bully told the police that the victim took too much cheese from the nacho cheese machine, so he told him to leave, and the victim did leave. Then he came back a few minutes later because he wanted his nachos. That's when the bat came out.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
The victim, unfortunately, is in very rough shape. He's got a couple of brain bleeds.
Oh, God. Well, baseball bat, I mean.
He may not make it. Considered life-threatening injuries.
Ooh.
Bully was charged with suspicion of attempted murder.
Wow.
And battery with a deadly...
Streets.
Yeah, battery with a deadly weapon. And somehow he's out on parole, was listening to our show this morning and called us about 45 minutes ago.
That's right. That's true. Well,
He's a dumb son of a bitch.
Wow, man. Over cheese? I got to think something else is going on in Myron Bully's life. To beat the life out of someone else with a bat.
And it's not even real cheese.
Over cheese. Yeah. Sometimes some people would say it's better than real cheese.
Yeah,
Jeff.
you would.
I love it.
Because you didn't go to college.
Bully, you are Jeff and Jeremy's.
Dumbass of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.